Oh, yeah. What's up, y'all? It's your boy, the one and only A Switch, bringing you yet another episode of Switch's Sights, episode 64 to be exact. Today's date is July 16th, 2020. Forgot my AKAs. Let me get those out the way. AKA the 100-time social distancing champion, aka the Jigaboo Jangler, aka the barbecue chicken creator. Bringing you yet another episode of Switch Your Sights, the gaming podcast where I talk about just that, games and related things. Yeah. So yeah, recording this pretty much at the midnight hour. Smooth jazz V98.7 jams. It's gonna be a rainy night tonight, y'all. Get ready. I don't know. I just assume that's what the late night jazz people, jazz radio hosts. What was the official term for radio? I think radio jockey. I forgot. I'm gonna have to look that up out of curiosity now. But yeah, we still thriving and surviving in this cold ass world of a pandemic. Stuff's getting crazy. Well, when has it not been crazy, really? President's still tripping. People still not wearing a damn mask. We about to have yet another resurgence, extended period of us in confinement. But you know, every other country is just fine, just hopping and skipping, pandemic free. But here we are with this increasing virus that may potentially kill everybody, and people are not taking it serious. But I digress. Yeah. So hopefully everybody's good. Everybody chilling. I mean, in the best way possible, considering the circumstances. But yeah. Some interesting things came out this week. We still yet have not heard a peep about no damn announcements for a damn console, no pricing, no pre-ordering. Come on, guys. You guys need to stop the damn price chicken, and somebody get some balls and just come up with that price and that date. Just do it. That's all you got to do. Anyway, let's stop the dilly-dallying and get right into it. First topic of discussion. This one hurt a little bit. I guess it doesn't really and in the grand scheme of things, but from Kotaku, Microsoft stopping production of the Xbox One X. End of an era. It was a good run, good 3 years. But hey, all good things must come to an end. So basically the reasoning around this, actually, not 100%. Yeah, here's the quote from Xbox themselves. As we ramp into the future with Xbox Series X, we're taking a natural step of stopping production on Xbox One X and Xbox One S all digital edition, aka the Xbox Sad Edition. Gotta say it that way. Sad Edition. But the Xbox One S will continue to be manufactured and sold globally. That's pretty interesting. So I think a lot of people are pretty much coming to the conclusion that they're probably gonna have that as the Xbox One S as a pretty, bare bones entry point for a lot of people to maybe get a little bit of that taste of that greatness that is Xbox Game Pass, because boy, that may change your life. You better stop playing. That might change your life. Don't fret. All right. So when you think about it, really, it makes sense because then there was that whole potential confusion of Xbox One X and Xbox One Series X, and that was just like the makings of a fire of confusion. So, um, yeah, I mean, and then with it seems to be a 1-to-1 backwards compatibility with the when the Series X comes out. It's pretty much a done deal, I'd say. I mean, if you want the power of the Xbox One X, I guess you technically have to, I got to get more power for the Xbox Series X. So I'm fine with it. I mean, on top of somebody saying they already have one anyway, so, or somebody that has one. But yeah, I'm curious to see. Well, obviously, I think they're still gonna. Xbox did say they're still gonna support these consoles throughout. I think 2 or 3 years. I want to say so. Uh, really no worry there necessarily. So I mean, it's all good. And I think another reason was that, I mean, currently Xbox One X is like selling out as well as PS4 with the obvious, pandemic, and people are, staying home for longer periods of time, bored, actually want to do something, entertaining. So it makes sense. This is probably the perfect time to do so. And then, if you really want an Xbox One X, you can scrounge eBay and other various sites, for that. That market's probably flourishing right now, especially, with the, excuse me, lack of demand between the, well, at least all the corresponding consoles, cause we stuck it on, so all in all, think it's for the best. Would avoid confusion, also avoid detracting from the appeal and luster of the Xbox Series X. So interesting stuff. Interesting stuff. Nobody thought that they would do that, but they did. Because I mean, when you think about it, it was kind of in a weird spot, or the Xbox One X would be in a weird spot where it's more powerful than Xbox One S, but not as powerful as Xbox Series X. But as well as like, if potentially the second tier Xbox, or the nickname the Scarlet is the actual thing, it's like a weird space between like those possibly both being similar in power, maybe. So at the end of the day, I think the ends justified the means. Just I'm all for avoiding potential confusion, which with these naming conventions, that was highly likely. So, keeping in line with Xbox news, Project xCloud, the streaming service that has been in beta for a pretty long time now. I know it initially started out on the Android phones, and then I think just somewhat recently, the beta came out for iOS. Didn't get into it. I think I signed up. I didn't get into it as of yet, but it seems pretty cool, at least the potential. But we don't have to wait any longer because xCloud coming to Game Pass this September. Get ready for a whole new experience. So yeah, so actually pretty good, pretty solid kind of deal and bundle with Xbox Game Pass, as much as it's flourishing. I heard some people talking about Xbox Game Pass, this being only with Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, but I don't think that's the case. Maybe it is. So I think it is specifically with Xbox Game Pass Ultimate. Maybe later down the line, it may trickle down to the standard Xbox Game Pass. Who knows? But at least as of now, it is still restricted to Xbox Game Pass Ultimate. But I mean, ultimately, at the end of the day, if you're, with that, you already have that anyway. And then I think even another factor, which is it's just ingenious on their end, at least getting more people in that otherwise wouldn't. Um, there you could just get Xbox Game Pass without buying any games or even having or owning an Xbox, and basically just get a dedicated controller and be able to play like Xbox games that way. Or you're when I think about it, this might be like it might be the nail in the coffin to Google Stadia if they don't get their act up. Is that the term? Don't get their act right. Yeah, if they don't act right. So Stadia better watch out. They better get on that Netflix model, because I mean, at least from what I'm seeing, it don't seem like that's working. What they doing, charge you having to pay for a full game and be restricted only that game just for that type of service. I don't know. It just does not make sense. I think surprisingly, Xbox is doing it way better than Stadia, at least from the surface, from what they're saying, and given all the capabilities you have. But of course, obviously, if you have an Xbox, it's way more streamlined for you, because you can also have the option to stream directly from your Xbox. I think you can also like volunteer your Xbox to as a resource to like be streamed from. If I would assume if you have the corresponding game random person X want to play, and they're nearby your area or something like that, or closer than a server, that maybe they could, if they chose to donate their Xbox, maybe when they're not playing it or something like that. I swore I heard something like along those lines. But all in all, really cool potential. To one game on the go, and kind of delve into that portable market too, where it's potentially they could be kind of competing with the Switch kind of to some extent, as well as standard um phone purchases, phone games also. So man, yeah, when you think about it, Xbox was really setting themselves up for like success. And yeah, they're definitely playing a methodical long game. It feels like that they're like potentially, moving their chess pieces in a probably the best way possible, I'd say. So good on Xbox, Microsoft. I plan to probably mess with it at some point. Probably share my thoughts, at least on my experience, because I know everybody's varies, and tons of variables, internet, and your data, and all that jazz. So, yeah. So yeah, moving on. Well, actually, still staying in the theme. Of course, the greatness that is I keep saying. I mean, who knows? It's probably going to be great. But next week's Xbox Game Showcase, where potentially we may get a lot of stuff, which I'll get into in the next segment. But yeah, so I guess to kind of temper our expectations, Aaron Greenberg from Xbox on Twitter said, at least I'll quote him, "I know everyone is excited for Xbox Game Showcase next Thursday. Seen some wild expectations. So if helpful, this show has one focus: games. No business, devices, or similar news. Just games. A whole show about hour-long focused on games. Hope you enjoy it." So he kind of killed any I guess anticipation for price of the console or consoles, or devices. So he kind of killed that dead in the water. So the fact that he did that, I don't know. I guess that so slightly disappointing because like now more than ever we really need to know the price and the date so we can start pre-ordering and stuff like that. Um but PlayStation and Xbox, they like holding them cards close. They are playing the most intense game of chicken right now, and I am dying from anticipation and anxiousness. So, yeah. But actually, it's good because I think, he kind of got burned from the last Xbox event that was, it was supposed to be gameplay supposedly, but it is not. So I don't know. I don't know. Um yeah. So gonna be interesting. Hopefully the games make up for it, but I don't know. Really don't know. Really don't know. Um Keeping in line with that, I think we'll get into like an interesting um sub segment, if you will. Since Xbox event is coming out next week, I thought it'd be kind of fun to share some of my predictions. Some I'll probably spread on Twitter, but I would love for a lot of these to come true. Doubt all of them will, but um, I do want them to come true. So, first prediction for the Xbox event. Gonna see Battletoads. Gonna get a shadow drop on Thursday. Coming out right then and there. We'll be able to play it. I mean, the game has been real dormant for who knows how long. Haven't really heard anything about it. Doesn't seem like a big, ambitious AAA ish game. So I'd say now more than ever is probably a perfect time to just do a straight up shadow drop and just release it during this showcase on Thursday, next Thursday. Um, it just makes sense. It just makes sense. I mean, I don't think I need to explain more than that. Um, Next prediction: Splinter Cell is gonna be announced at Xbox and will be exclusive to Xbox. I don't want to say, yeah, I'm gonna be bold. I'm gonna say exclusive to Xbox. Um, from past history, the Splinter Cell series has always been mainly associated with Xbox. I think what was the Splinter Cell, not Double Agent, not Pandora Tomorrow, Conviction. I think that's still technically exclusive to 360 console wise. I know it's pretty sure it's on PC as well, but from a console standpoint, it is still console exclusive. I'm pretty certain about that. And of course, the previous Splinter Cells, at least for the most majority of its, I guess, life, even though it's kind of not really a, I guess, accurate thing, but majority of its period was being exclusive to the original Xbox, the whole trilogy. No, let me back that up. The first Splinter Cell was exclusive to the Xbox for a pretty long period, and then it eventually got ported to the PS2 and GameCube. Yeah. So, and then like the corresponding the sequels after that, Pandora Tomorrow, Chaos Theory, those kind of came after Chaos Theory. I don't know. Chaos Theory. I think Chaos Theory was a beast. I think it came on PS2 at least, but it was very definitely the lesser version. Since the PS2 couldn't stand couldn't stand up to the Xbox original Xbox when it came to graphical power. So um, at least what I'm trying to say is that for most of um, the franchise's career life, Splinter Cell has always been strongly most associated with Xbox. It would make perfect sense for them to do that now. Xbox is in need of a lot of exclusive games, bring people to the platform. And then on top of that, with the weird inclusion of Phil Spencer, the vice president of Xbox, in Ubisoft's Forward, which we'll talk about a little bit later. Yeah, it was just a weird inclusion of him. Didn't have anybody from PlayStation, I don't think. So I don't know. That to me leads some suspicion that maybe Phil Spencer has got a little tricklet up his sleeve, waiting to show us during this Xbox Games event. Yeah, at least it would be a smart move for Xbox to try to get some more exclusives to their platform. Perfect game. We're all dying for a stealth game. Well, I mean, we got The Last of Us, but I mean, I guess a legitimate, realistic-ish stealth game. To kind of fill that gap of, that Metal Gear Solid cannot fulfill anymore, at least as far as we know. So yeah, definitely strongly feel that. Also, I I made a bet for that game, so I got a lot riding on this. But I mean, hey, it still stands. Um, Dead Rising 5 gonna be announced and exclusive to Xbox. Dead Rising 4 had a very troubled, muddy past. I was watching this documentary, pretty much going through like the whole development process, development cycle for the Dead Rising 4. And man, yeah, it wasn't pretty. And it's very understandable how the final game came out, because yeah, just 4 was just a shadow of its former self, really. Which was unfortunate. I mean, they didn't bring back the original voice actor. They didn't even have Psychopaths, which is like essentially a staple in the series. Um, yeah, just the design was it just felt uninspired and lifeless, if that makes sense. Like, I mean, as a game, it was solid technically, but it just was missing that personality that, like, for sure the first game really, really hit on all fronts. Um, so yeah, I feel like, at least from especially that one video I was watching, I forgot the damn video, but if you look it up, Dead Rising 5, I think it might pop up that way, but it's like an hour long video, basically going over that whole process. Actually, let's try to give as much credit as we can. I think it was called The Downfall of Dead Rising. I want to say, yeah, how Capcom's Dead Rising studio fell apart. Game history secrets by Did You Know Gaming. Wow, I not sure why I did not think of that. I didn't think this was by Did You Know Gaming, but yeah, 40 minutes. Pretty. If you're a fan of Dead Rising, it's pretty insightful video, kind of showing that whole just imminent downfall. Going from a developer to developer, and I think a lot of the developers quitting. Some of it's kind of muddy now. It's been a while since I watched it, but definitely recommend it. Pretty insightful. But getting back on track, I think considering again Xbox's history with being exclusive to the Xbox, this is also adding to more credence to that as well, with Dead Rising generally being mostly associated with Xbox. Dead Rising 1 was exclusive for the longest until like this generation, I'd say. Um, the first one specifically. Then 2 started branching out and going multi-platform. Then 3 was again exclusive to Xbox and still is console wise. It did get ported to the PC. Um, and then 4, which at least again was exclusive to Xbox, and then just this last year it got ported to PS4. So all in all, it's pretty apparent that that's somewhat of a established semi-exclusive third-party IP that definitely, again, Xbox could utilize. Give them some funding to maybe get a pretty established studio from Capcom to develop it or something like that, or maybe just get IP rights and stuff like that, or something along those lines to make something happen. I think would definitely be yet another good IP to exclusively get on Xbox's side to, beef up their exclusivity, which is, really been the biggest downside in comparison to PlayStation, which almost every exclusive has been knocking it out the park. So hopefully Xbox can get to a point where they could do the same. So next prediction. I guess adjacent to what Aaron Greenberg from Xbox said, I think we are going to get a price and release date of the Xbox Series X. I think maybe he might be lowering expectations for a surprise. Also maybe potentially be a last minute thing that, with all this animosity and anticipation that maybe they just might do it. But I'm gonna go against what he's saying and say that we are gonna get a price and release date. The clock is ticking. We're like less than 6 months from the release of it. Gonna have to happen sooner or later. So why not now? Why not Xbox? I guess I do see the side that Xbox doesn't want to get put in a bad position again, where they could get the chance to be undercut by PS5 to like kill it in sales. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I would like them to just stick to their guns and go to price. But at the same time, I mean, for the longer success of the company, maybe they should hold it out too. So I guess I kind of see both sides, but personally, I want them to give us a release date and price. Probably at the end of the show, kind of in the same manner that PS5 did, but not in that weird like ominous hinting of a new release or some crap like that. I don't know. But I digress. Next prediction. Gears 5 Battle Royale. This is a super shot in the dark, but if there was any other game I'd want to have a Battle Royale component, I guess it would be Halo. But I've heard a lot of rumors about that. So, I mean, I guess I could have been safe and went with that, but I wanted to be interesting and, take a bold one that I would love to see just out of genuine curiosity, as well as my love for the series. And that would be Gears 5. Just trying to fathom how they would do that game in a battle royale setting where it's, a huge, vast map and, trying to accommodate the covering for, the pop and shoot like staple of the series would be pretty interesting. And then maybe they'll find some way to like mix all the maps from maybe essentially the whole series potentially. That would be actually pretty cool now, the more I'm thinking about it. I would kind of like that. maybe they just give you some dedicated dynamic to, parachute in, and then, or maybe they'll do their own unique spin on it where maybe you don't drop in. Maybe there's some interesting mechanic they can do where you fight for a particular location that maybe is known to be popular or something like that. That would be pretty interesting. I think that'll be a cool spin to kind of make Battle Royale Gears' own and make it, its own mode and not like, oh, Gears 5 Battle Royale. So I like the idea of it. I guess it definitely all comes down to execution, but the potential is definitely there, I think. Yeah, weapon balancing, popping and shooting, roadie running. Uh, I like it. I kind of like it a lot. Um, but yeah, would love for that to be a thing. And last and final prediction. Pretty apparent that Yakuza has been really good in good relationship with Sega. Well, no, I mean obviously they're with Sega. Yakuza's been in really good relationship with Xbox so far, bringing a lot of their games to Xbox Game Pass. Yakuza Kiwami, no, Yakuza 0, Yakuza Kiwami, and Yakuza Kiwami 2 coming soon. I think right on the Xbox Game Showcase Thursday, I think is when it does drop. And I think it's only obvious that I feel like this isn't part of my prediction, but that we're gonna get release dates for the rest of the Yakuza collection, Yakuza essentially the Yakuza Remaster collection, which includes Yakuza 3, 4, and 5. So I think we're probably going to get some release dates of those games, probably staggered out, rationed out, and then probably potentially 6, and then maybe they might lead up to actually 7, which is part of my prediction that they are going to give us a date for Yakuza 7 in the West. The game has been out for, I think, since December. December is normally their cadence when they release, because they pretty much release yearly. And normally, yeah, it's around December when they normally drop their games in in Japan and stuff, Asia. So, yeah. So I think along with that, we'll get the release date, and then we'll potentially, I feel it, the Dragon of Dojima needs to rise. It's gonna be Kiryu. 1 second. All right. Sorry. That's gonna be um Kiryu's gonna be announced for Tekken 7. Let me backpedal. Harada is gonna come out of nowhere. Probably knowing Harada, he'll probably come in his Yakuza suit, his Yakuza get up, and hello everybody. Don't X me for shit. He'll probably have that on the red shirt of Kiryu's trademark outfit. So have that, and then it's obvious at that point, and then we'll probably get an awesome ass trailer Probably some funny trailer, maybe making fun of Kiryu and like Kazuya and Jin Kazama, all having similar names. Wait, Kazuya Mishima? No, Kazuya Kazama. Yeah, Kazuya and Jin having Kazuya, Jin, and Kiryu all having the same name, and then some hilarious trailer, and then showing the awesome ass gameplay. Kiryu doing like Komaki Tiger drops, doing combos, doing all ridiculous stuff. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be fun. I'll lose my shit. I will. I'm not even gonna lie to y'all. Yeah, so that's my final prediction in that regard. All right. So not a bad list. I think I got a lot of reasonable ones and a lot of shots in the dark. So yeah, I'm pretty confident with that. We'll see if it actually churns out in its reality. And damn it, I forgot to write my notes, my time codes. I will. I'll maybe try to. Damn it. Well, damn it. I lost it. Oh well. We'll keep it going. Next topic of discussion. Sony PS5. People anticipating it like crazy. Think it's only a matter of time that they're going to actually no. I'm not sure where I was going with that actually. So Sony estimated the production of their units, I think to initially be 5 million units, but now considering the demand, especially, with this pandemic, which is definitely going to heighten, the demand for it, to increase it, to increase the demand for the PS5. So they doubled their units by 50%. 50% units by December. That's what they are going shooting for. Hard to say if that's actually gonna be a thing, or they're actually gonna follow through with that, considering all the dynamics that is probably gonna come into play. But I mean, who knows? Maybe they will. But it's definitely good on Sony to not try to pull those Nintendo tactics where they increase the artificially try to increase demand by shortening supply, which I think there's some videos that kind of explain that. But it's always Nintendo that seems to always have that situation where most of their stuff is super low stock, where it in turn increases the demand for their like consoles and other various like niche products and stuff like that. So good on Sony for not being money grubbing, but yeah. So next topic, Ubisoft had their forward this past Sunday. Had a lot of interesting news. I guess one of them in particular that kind of tarnished a lot of things was Far Cry 6, which evidently got leaked by Sony, their PlayStation Store. They showed a listing for Far Cry 6, and it was something to say the least. So yeah, kind of took their fire, but it was a pretty big reveal. It showed a picture of what is his name? What is his name? Because it is hard to pronounce. Damn it. Let me look up Breaking Bad. Breaking Bad actor. I think it's Carlo Giancarlo Esposito. Yeah, so he was his most probably famous role is Breaking Bad as I forgot his character, but he was a villain technically, and I mean it's kind of subjective in the lines of Breaking Bad, but yeah. So um he it seems it's pretty. I think it's pretty safe to assume that he's man. Yeah, pretty much keeping that theme where he's going to be a villain in this role, considering the history of Far Cry having villainous roles in the series. So um, yeah, I think it's only a matter of time. It really is. So um, yeah. So also one other aspect is that he's with a kid and it looks to be in Cuba, I want to say. Um and a lot of people are rumoring that the kid might be Voss from Far Cry 3 because of the eyebrows very similar. The facial structure is pretty similar. Eyebrows actually line up as well. So it wouldn't be too out of the realm for that to be a possibility. It'd be a cool aspect, if anything. So, but yeah, so it was leaked, and then I think the actor, who I guess he found out some way, he like was playing in character, like the Wano is not going to be happy about this or something like that. And then they finally, it seemed like what 2 hours after that, they dropped a trailer showing the a brief teaser for that. Since obviously the bag was out, I guess they roll with it. Who knows if that was intentional or not? But I don't know. Seemed kind of intentional, but I don't. Who knows? Then fast forward to the Ubisoft Forward. They revealed a pretty extensive trailer showing the setup for it, and it is pretty damn interesting. Pretty damn interesting. Um, Personally, I haven't played too many of the Far Cries. The pretty much I've only played one and played about a couple hours of that because at least I'm the type I want to play the first one all the way to six. But might be a pretty big endeavor to kind of entail. But I am looking forward to this. Maybe I'll hopefully uh, get catch up. Who knows? But interesting showing. There's a couple other games I wanted to highlight at the Ubisoft Forward. Assassin's Creed Valhalla. They showed us more in-depth gameplay and aspects of it. It seems like the pirate mini game is somewhat kind of back. Makes sense during that era, since ships and stuff were still a thing. What else? The combat seems to be pretty evolved. I'd say seems to be a lot more depth to it, which definitely seemed interesting. It seemed more, I guess, visceral. Even though I guess the trailer kind of hinted at that as well. So, and then Watch Dogs Legion, which it's feels like it's kind of been dormant for a while. We haven't really saw much about it, I guess, until now. I guess since last E3, but looks like it's shaping up to be a pretty good ass game. Kind of again rolling with the I guess my best frame of reference is what is it called? Damn it. Something dead something. Zombie U. Zombie U or Zombie and when it was ported to other consoles where it was more it is more what's the word? It's roguelike. Yeah, roguelike. I think that's the term. Where if your character gets killed, you possess the role of a different new character and play it in those aspects really. So it's gonna be pretty interesting to see how that is gonna play out. I do kind of want to play the granny really bad. I hear I saw somebody on Twitter said Granny Nuzlocke, which I believe is just a general term for if your character gets killed, then they have to stay killed, even though you can't revive them in this game. So at least in this game, it's presumed that if she gets killed, you have to start the game all over again. So I think that'd be kind of interesting run to do like Nuzlocke Nuzlocke runs with Watch Dogs Legion. But yeah, overall, I'm really liking what they're doing. Kind of giving you more customization in terms of your preference of playstyle, which is pretty cool because it did show the characters having a wide gamut of abilities and attributes that cater to maybe how you particularly like to play, which is pretty cool. So yeah, definitely looking forward to that as well. So all in all, man, pretty strong showing. I think they showed a lot of games, not a lot that I remembered or recalled that were notable to me specifically or spoke to me, but all in all, pretty decent showing, I'd say. Next topic of discussion, out of nowhere, Dragon's Dogma anime series. It's coming to Netflix September 17th. They showed the initial poster. They showed some screenshots as well. And it looks like the director of the game is supervising it. So that's kind of crazy. So very interesting aspect of that. Um, yeah, interesting. Um, I well, obviously because Dragon's Dogma has been like dormant for who knows how long in terms of not continuing the game. There's been like multiple ports and stuff, but outside of that, it's been really interesting, say the less, say the least. Um, I mean, the fact that they're doing a TV, a continuation of the franchise, regardless, at least for me, leads me to believe that they're gonna eventually, at some point, continue the series. So, um, it's hard to say when that's gonna be, but I think it's coming eventually because it just doesn't make sense to put eyes on a franchise that a lot of people are a fan of and not do anything about it. Um, so yeah, interesting to say the least. Also kind of makes sense because I believe they're coming out with um, a Resident Evil TV series as well. So maybe they did a 2-for-1 deal or something like that. I don't know. But yeah. So I think that covers all the news for this week. Um, let's go into what I've been playing. Modern Warfare, of course. Managed to get all the challenges for this season. Still got to get max battle pass. I think I'm reaching 80. I think I'm at 76. I want to say. So, been grinding to that. What else? Something else in particular. Um, Trying to think. I totally forgot. But same old Call of Duty. Oh yeah, did get a chicken dinner, a solo chicken dinner the other day. It felt great. I wasn't even trying necessarily, but I mean, it just fell in my hands. But I mean, you gotta at least put your hand out to catch the ball if it's gonna fall, if you know what I mean. So, you know, I mean, I still take that victory and pride though. Then of course Animal Crossing, just game don't love me, apparently because been gambling in terms of the stock market with getting turnips and like just going all in on turnips and hoping for a big payoff where it's a lot of RNG. I think I talked about it last episode, but it is not friendly at all. Not friendly at all. Very very unforgiving to say the least. Um yeah. So I ended up having to sell turnips at a loss, unfortunately, and ugh, really hurt it. Really hurt it. Got to the point I think a couple days ago where I saw a pretty good decent profit. It was like 150 and I paid like 190 for the turnips. So I'm like, all right, because I don't know. I feel like the game is unforgiving with RNG, and I feel like it does definitely encourage you to buy from other people, kind of like Pokemon, where the trading mechanic encourages you to interact with other people to get trades from them. So that's been a I guess somewhat of a standstill in terms of like thwart my progress in regards to, I guess, the game's perception and progression, which is essentially building more buildings. And um I think the ultimate goal is to get KK Slider in your city, which it's kind of multiple things, but getting your star rate into 5, which in turn will get KK Slider to come to your city. And it's kind of ambiguous and vague what that implies, which I want to say I talked about that on a previous episode. But yeah, so also Deadly Premonition 2. Played a little bit, didn't play much since I was trying to focus on Modern Warfare. But it is bad, but it is a guilty pleasure at this point, I'd say, because I'm still enticed by it, interested by it, given the very obvious technical issues with the game just be running horribly, especially outside and outside environments, dropping to like 1-2 frames per second in a lot of cases. But I'm still interested, still want to play it, still want to see it through. I would like a patch to improve everything, but who knows if that's actually going to come out anytime soon. But I do plan to play some of that this weekend as well. But all in all, definitely very similar vibes as the first one. And that pretty much covers all the games I've been playing this week. Going to some media stuff, with anticipation of Deadly Premonition 2. Pretty much finished Twin Peaks completely now. But I finished season 2, and man, I would have been, if during that time it premiered, I think the last season premiered 91, I want to say, I would have been like in a disarray because of just the pretty big cliffhanger it leaves you on, which is kind of messed up. Yeah, I guess people could see it as conclusive, but it's like, I don't know. It's a lot that could be interpreted. And now the third season, or the final season, or the return, I forgot the terminology they used, but yeah. So this season takes place 25 years, at least in the story timeline or the actual TV series timeline. 25 years past the original season, which is definitely hinted at, which is kind of cool, hinted at in the first and second season. About 25 years you will, I forgot what they said, 25 years you will return, or something along those lines. So pretty much watched the final season, like binged the hell out of it last weekend. And I will at least say, I mean, I think it's past spoiler territory, so I'll touch on some tidbits. In terms of just the whole concept, basically, you get out of the Black Lodge, and as Secret Agent Cooper gets out the Black Lodge, and he's somewhat of like a shadow of himself, or of some form or version of himself somehow. And literally, like, through pretty much most of the season, it's just Agent Cooper like pretty much almost like damn near a vegetable, where he's just repeating what people say to him. He cannot go anywhere by himself. He needs to be like strung along by somebody. I will say I do appreciate the writing in terms of how they try to make that feasible, that he is make it feasible that he is I don't know the term, but make it feasible that he is that that could actually happen, when in all reality that would never happen. But it it was interesting for the most part. But that was my one gripe, is that I would have liked to see more of Agent Cooper as Agent Cooper, that we all knew and loved from the original 2 seasons, and not this like dummy that just repeats stuff like a what like a 1 year old, if anything, even younger than that, that just lacks all function of like the real world, and cognitive I guess sensitivity, if anything. So yeah, that was probably my biggest gripe over the season, if I could really talk about that. But I would be lying to you if I wasn't like engaged the whole season, in terms of like, dying to find out what happens the next episode, because I mean, it goes to show you, I freaking binged the whole season over the weekend. So yeah, it's some places it got super weird, and just weird as hell. And then after that, it it just gets it just gets confusing, and you kind of, I guess, not too far of a jump from the first 2 seasons, but still it just gets super weird. But yeah. And then the final episodes, or I guess the 2 last episodes, were, I guess, supposedly technically one to some extent. But I don't know. It just did not feel conclusive at all. It really didn't. Not at all. It was it just asked way it presented way more questions than it answered. And uh it was a little bit disappointing. And then it kind of opens it up for a another season, a fourth season or something like that. So uh it's a bit disappointing, to be honest. I like the ride, but it's like, it seems like, when you find out who the person is, I think that was a criticism a lot of people had with the original seasons, where, they found out who the killer was, so it kind of took away from the luster, and like, I guess, appeal, where that mysterious appeal of the series of, you don't know what is what. So I don't know. I don't know. Hey, I mean, you put it on yourself, Ryla. I mean, I'm sorry. I'm just saying. Uh, it's giving you a hard time. It's my thing. It's my thing. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. So yeah, it's the series was super weird, man. I liked it, but the ending was I wasn't a fan of. There's also the movie I missed that actually is like a prequel to the original 2 series, or 2 seasons, or whole seasons really. That I feel like I need to watch to kind of get some backstory, because a lot of the stuff in the third season, it seems to hark back to Fire Walk with Me. That's the, I guess, movie after those 2 seasons that is a prequel to the whole series. It follows Laura Palmer, to my understanding, and like her backstory, and yeah, and explains a lot of the, I guess, not plot holes, or actually answers some questions that maybe maybe I wouldn't be as confused watching this third season. Yeah, maybe I should have watched it before that. But either way, I'll probably fill those holes. I mean, it's BS, but what are you going to do about it? I'm just saying. So, um, yeah. So pretty much all I've been up to in that respect. So yeah, I think that'll do it for um episode 64, Switches Sites. Um, trying to feel and think if I forgot anything. Don't think I did. Just want to be sure though. Nope. Okay. Um, if damn it, I keep forgetting I really need to put these in sequence. If you enjoy this podcast on your favorite podcasting platforms, be sure to like, rate, subscribe on your respective platforms. If you want to watch this show live and talk BS like some people I know, you can do so on Twitch TV/aswitch. I try to I try to record on a consistent time, but life is happening. So, taking it in stride. I'll at least I try to commit to 5 p.m. PST, but a lot of times that does not seem to work. But yeah, you can also catch the archives of this show as well as another platform. I know some people prefer YouTube, include myself, on youtube.com/aswitch. Yeah. Any questions you want answered on the show, you can also submit to my email, which is aswitchtv@gmail.com. If I get enough, may read or dedicate a segment to reading some questions, telling people you're horrible and stuff like that. I don't know. That's probably not the most encouraging, but hey, I'm not like that. I promise. Yeah. So I think that covers everything for this week. Next week is going to be a big one. Hopefully we get Xbox Series X release date, price. Maybe get the price of the PS5 as well, because this anticipation and anxiety is killing me. It's killing me. I just want to know already. Just let us know already, please. Please. I beg of you. Corresponding competing companies, PS, PlayStation, and Microsoft, for my sanity. Please. 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 I'm begging you. I'm groveling right now. I may not look it, but I am. So, till next time, don't touch people that don't want to be touched. Stop coughing. Don't cough. Get your game on. Oh yeah.